if you are anything like me, you have already watched through all of HBO's newest drama, The Pitt. And if you haven't, I want to tell you everything that makes it so good. I'm Real Slim Katie 25. Let's get into it. Also, I will be discussing minor plot spoilers, so if that doesn't jive with you, go ahead and save this to watch later and come back once you've seen it. My partner Andrew and I are no stranger to the genre of medical drama. A few years ago, we put on Grey's Anatomy in the background while we were cleaning, so there'd be something on, but nothing distracting that we would care about. And then we cared way too much about it. And I think there is a big appeal for Grey's Anatomy for people who are not in the medical field. Because it's dramatic and saucy. And then like half of it's like really bad. But Grey's also has the home field advantage of you spend so much time with characters, people just want to come back and find out what happens next. Even if the writing and production quality and lighting has gone down so far hill. So far hill? So far downhill? You know what I mean. But with The Pitt, there's so much good that stands out to me. We watched the first episode and we were immediately hooked. So the first thing that makes The Pitt so fantastic are the storylines. I feel like Stefan when I say this. But this show has everything. It's got abortions. It's got trafficking. It's got drug overdoses. I mean, that's pretty much everything you could want. Jokes aside, though, it really is the most, like, interesting or risque. I feel like Grey's had a cap of one maybe challenging or divisive medical topic a year. Because they want to push the envelope, but not that far. They'll only push the envelope so far as they can retain viewership. But The Pitt does not shy away from things that could be politically divisive. Maybe most notably calling out anti-vaxxers as posing a potential life or death health threat to their children. And the storylines they give the characters to deal with bring up these amazing themes of morality and these ethical gray areas that a lot of doctors have to live with. And the gray area is where the show loves to live. Which brings me to the next thing I really love about The Pitt, are the characters. It at times feels insulting in modern day media when there are so many characters that are so surface level. They are black or white, they are good or bad, and there's no room for good people to do bad things or bad people to do good things or anything morally, ethically, intellectually challenging. And this show is not only okay with that, it holds the audience's hand through moments that are meant to challenge them, that are meant to make you question how you feel about people, meant to make you question how you would feel if you were placed in these positions. And this show also doesn't try to shoehorn one person into being the star of the narrative. It does a great job making use of this huge ensemble cast it has, giving everybody their moment to shine, and not trying to make the audience pick favorites or decide who they think is the best doctor, because they're all placed in these really hard situations. The least difficult level, I would say Dr. Garcia is a really interesting character who we see come in for several split-second decisions. She is very forthright and at times kind of harsh with the other doctors, but you also understand that these are literally life or death situations that they're dealing with, and the stakes are the highest they could possibly be in every scene. So I leave feeling kind of neutral about her, because I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about the way you talk to people, but also, you're literally doing one of the hardest jobs of all time. To land the obvious Dr. Langdon, who is called out for overprescribing medication, or rather taking some of patients' medications, allegedly for his back pain, but it seems that there is much more to that story that we do not know yet as audience members, and it really causes you to ask questions, because on one hand, he's a fantastic teacher who does a great job educating, supporting the other residents, and when it's time to make game time decisions, he is there, ready, supporting patients with the knowledge and the gusto to get it done. But you also know that he has done things that most people would consider wrong. And a lot of people who fall in the lawful good category would say, you know what, no matter what, you should not be allowed to practice medicine, you broke a rule. But also him being in the hospital, despite that having happened, did factually save more lives. And maybe at the top of my list for most confusing, morally, ethically gray characters would be Dr. Santos, who is the one who turned in Dr. Langdon, despite it only being her first day at work. Now, on one hand, obviously, I do think she was well within her right to report him, because he was doing something that could affect patient health, that was against the rules, that could cause him his license. And it also questions this really interesting dynamic of, it's not her place, it's her first day. She doesn't know these people, and throwing around accusations like that is crazy. And I do think she was well within her right to report him. But I also think that she was a bitch and did continue talking about this problem long after it was her place. And despite saying that she wouldn't cause drama about it, continued to do so. She toes this line of like, I'm being silly and teasing friends, but like, low-key, you're bullying people. And then obviously in the final episode, she has this really great redemption moment. But I don't know if that means I like her. I still think she kind of sucks, and I'd hate her in real life for sure. But there's no doubt in my mind that she was doing great things and really saved people and helped people. But the most important thing that makes the Pitt so successful, aside from its dedication to actual accuracy, having doctors on the writing team and production staff, I'm sure many of you have heard already, but Noah Wyle said he set out to make the most accurate medical drama of all time, including their choice to use almost entirely practical effects, including the birthing scene. Youch. Also, can we just give it up once? Those practical effects were freaking awesome. But the number one thing that I think makes the Pitt so successful is its pacing and its commitment to this idea that every minute we spend on screen is a minute spent in the ER. In other medical dramas, it feels like they really stretch out other storylines, when in reality, they talk a lot about time. They talk a lot about how long it feels to be in the waiting room of the ER, how time equals health, and how you can save a certain amount of people if you're not triaging correctly. Time is lives. And it shows us this on screen, but it also helps deliver that message constantly by keeping the audience on their toes. There's not a single second of boredom in the show, because that's not what it would be like in real life. The show is awesome, and it makes me think that people with shorter attention spans would be awesome doctors. And they even make a really funny joke about, oh, well, we all have ADHD and we can't do anything else. And in this age where we've all been fucking fried by our phones and we need constant gratification, a show like this, where something is literally happening all the time, is the best. It feels like all of the TikTok clips I watch next to Subway Surfers mashed into one. And I love it. The Pitt also left us some really great cliffhangers for season 2, and I cannot wait to find out what's going to happen next. Anyways, what are your predictions? What are your thoughts about season 1? What do you think and hope will happen in season 2? Let me know in the comments. There's nothing more I love than hearing what you guys have to say about this kind of stuff. And if you like this video, me and my best friend Louie make videos like this all the time, so please subscribe and like our content for more. Anyways, I'm gonna go fall asleep thinking of Noah Wyle. I mean, what? What? Bye!